Coming up, all your election results from Iowa City's local election and more about what those results mean.
Both women's and men's basketball is back in Cover Hawkeye Arena.
Iowa City looks up to keep warm, sunny temps.
All that and more coming up on this local election edition of DITV News.
DITV News starts right now.
Good morning and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM.
I'm Max Von Gries.
And I'm Ashley Wheel. Yesterday was election day, and here in Iowa City, residents voted for their local city council and school board directors. We have live reports across campus highlighting everything you need to know about these results and more. Polling locations were open till 8 p.m. last night, with results coming in quick. Not long after 9 p.m., both Iowa City City Council and Iowa City School Board races had all precincts reporting. Iowa City City Council had a total of 6 candidates running. Out of the 3 at-large candidates, Mazahir Salih and Josh Moe won the majority of the votes, both winning seats on the council. DITV had reporters across Iowa City last night as well, tracking the election and talking to these candidates. DITV's Brady Barron, Johnny Voltman, and Jordan Tovar have team coverage from the at-large candidates' watch parties last night.
I'm here at Fix Coffee inside the Chauncey building, where new City Council member Mazahir Salih held her election watch party. Salih's watch party featured tons of supporters, many of which were friends and family of hers. However, a few Iowa City City Council members, along with Mayor Bruce Teague, also showed up to support Salih.
She's the perfect person for our community at this time because she has a spirit of unity, and she's excited, she's energetic, and we need someone with experienced leadership on the council.
Her platform's focus on affordable housing, transportation, and inclusion made her a popular candidate. After receiving the most votes out of any candidate, Salih is ready to focus on the community that elected her.
I believe that the creative solution always coming from the people who are affected by the problem. I will be listening to the people, I will go where they are at, and I will find the problem and find the solution from them.
And while Mazahir Salih celebrated with supporters at her watch party, she is not the only new member of the Iowa City City Council. DITV's Assistant News Director Johnny Voltman is at Big Grove Brewery with more on new City Council member Josh Moe's election watch party.
Here at Big Grove Brewery, Josh Moe won his at-large City Council bid as he received the second most amount of votes out of the candidates.
While being elected is the first step before he takes office in January, Moe is prepared to take on his new role alongside Salih.
We are all together as a city council and work together. We'll be sworn in sometime between now and then. But yeah, January 2024, we get to work right away with budget season.
Both elected candidates take office with similar platforms, wanting to work on similar issues facing Iowa City. Another similarity the two candidates shared was their support from Iowa City's mayor.
That this was someone that Iowa City would be fortunate to have as not only their leader, but really as a partner to ensure that people can thrive and live their best life.
Moe's election will see him take a public service role for the first time. While joining the city council, Moe is ready to get to work. Only 2 candidates could win an at-large spot, leaving 1 person out. DITV's Jordan Tovar has more on the final candidate at large.
I'm here outside Deadwood in Iowa City, where supporters for at-large candidate Mandy Remington have gathered for her watch party.
When asked why they voted for Remington, they lauded her leadership abilities, and they expressed their hopes for her in the future.
She's just a passionate leader who's built her thing from the grassroots on up, and this isn't going to be the end for her. Mandy's still going to be around and not be discouraged by this.
But as the night rolled on and results began to come in, it soon became clear that Remington would not be one of the night's 2 winners.
It's a little disappointing. Obviously, I had hoped to win. But considering that I was outspent about 4-1, I think that we did amazing.
While things might not have turned out how Remington hoped they would, she did say that she plans to run again in the next election cycle. From Deadwood Bar in Iowa City, Jordan Tovar, DITV.
Iowa City is divided into 3 districts, A, B, and C. District A in Iowa City had 2 candidates running, with Laura Burgess leading in the polls. DITV's Jace Bertrand and Madison Johnson have more about this District A race.
I'm here at the Greenhouse Cafe for Laura Burgess's watch party, where supporters and friends alike are excited for the votes to start rolling in.
I would like to keep doing what I've been doing. I'm really proud of my service on City Council so far.
As more supporters trickled in, they shared what attracted themselves to Burgess's campaign.
I really love her that she's attending to neighborhoods that need a little more help and services. And I also like that she has an interest in mental health.
Later, Mayor Pro Tem Megan Alter stopped by to wish Burgess well in her race.
I work really well with Laura, and I don't see eye to eye with her on every issue. I've appreciated her as a colleague, as I do with the others who are running as well.
Eventually, the votes started rolling in, and with each count, the room grew more excited.
District A, Pauline Taylor, 1,393, Laura Burgess, 2,006.
At Shakespeare's, however, the energy was very different as news came in of Pauline Taylor's loss, with many concerned about how Burgess's policies on restructuring the Iowa City Police Department may affect the Iowa City community.
But if it does end up going her way, I think the community is at risk. Maybe mental health providers are at risk. It scares me.
Despite the loss, Taylor supporters remain proud of the work that she has done for Iowa City.
Let voters have spoken. But that cannot take away from the fact that she has served with distinction for 2 terms. You know, you win some, you lose some.
Handling this loss with grace, Pauline Taylor does not currently plan to run for re-election and will instead spend time with her family. From Shakespeare's Pub and Grill, Madison Johnson, DITV.
District C also had one candidate running for re-election. Andrew Dunn did not face any opposition in this election. He served on the Iowa City City Council since January after Janice Weiner resigned from the role. Dunn's main focuses are affordable housing, climate action, racial justice, and good faith development. Iowa City saw 19,000 people coming to these polls yesterday. Let's check in with DITV's Kara Doolin, who is live outside Catlett Residence Hall, which is one of Iowa City's polling locations. Kara, can you tell us more about who came to the polls and why were so many people encouraged to vote in this election?
Yes, Ashley, it was super exciting to see all the people out voting yesterday, and I got a chance to speak with some of them about the issues they thought were important.
Local elections generally see less turnout than the bigger statewide and presidential ones, but several Iowa City residents felt passionately about heading to the polls yesterday.
I think it's important as our civic duty as members of this community to make sure that our voices are heard. I personally feel that you're going to be more affected by local issues than you are nationally.
One of the biggest issues spurring people to participate in this election was the school board.
The school board election was a pretty important one to me, making sure that we get open-minded candidates.
The board of directors is very important in terms of how school districts are run and the support that you have as a teacher.
Voters, especially teachers and parents of ICCSD students, were particularly concerned about recent Iowa legislation that bans certain books and discussion of gender in classrooms.
I'm also an educator, so I think to me all kids have a right to be seen and to be heard and to feel validated.
I think my wife and I were both concerned about the state legislature in Des Moines banning books and wanted to make sure that our school board was one that shared our beliefs that books should not be banned.
Voters I spoke to who were against the book bans tended to vote for incumbents Molly Abraham and Charlie Eastham, as well as Lisa Williams and Mitch Lingo. All 4 of those candidates were endorsed by Johnson County legislators prior to the election. Now we'll send it back to you in the studio, Ashley, with the results.
Thanks, Kara. And for Iowa City School Board, Iowa City had 7 candidates running for 4 open seats. Mitchell Lingo, Lisa Williams, Molly Abraham, and Charlie Eastham are those same candidates who ended up winning in those polls. Candidates Jacob Onken, Robert Decker, and Micah Brokenmeyer did not secure enough votes. Now we'll go back to DITV's Johnny Veltman has more from some of these candidates' reactions to these results at last night's events.
The results for the school board came in, and all 4 elected members were here tonight, and they're ready to work for Iowa City.
All 3 incumbents won back their spots, and Mitchell Lingo takes over the spot Macaw Pilcher Hayek held as she chose not to run for re-election. Hayek hoped her replacement would follow with the rest of the board.
School board members, then public education. That's what I look for, is people that care about every student. There's nothing more important to this community than public education.
Lingo spoke about joining the re-elects and what he plans to do as a first-time school board member.
A lot of similar mindsets and appreciation of curriculum that really fits the district's needs and the community's wants.
With familiar faces returning to the board, there is a common understanding of what they want to achieve during their next terms.
So we just have to keep working on equity of access for everybody. That's probably our biggest thing that we need to do, and I think we've made good progress.
Really important stuff, right? Making these decisions really close to kids' lives and their experiences. So to have a board that functions, gets along, knows what they're doing, trusts one another is huge.
The WHALE Group, an acronym that represents the 4 elected candidates' names, will rejoin the school board for their 4-year terms. From Big Grove Brewery in Iowa City, Johnny Valtman, DITV.
Here in Iowa City, we've had some colder days early this month, but it seems to have warmed back up. We're going to send it out to DITV's Claire Green, who has more on our forecast for today.
Thanks, Ashley. It has been a pretty nice and warm week so far, and it should stay that way for the next couple of days. I am live outside the Campus Rec and Wellness Center, another location where many students in Iowa City residents voted yesterday, and it is currently 50 degrees out here. Today, the temperature will reach a high of 55 degrees with a chance of showers in the afternoon. Tomorrow, the temp should be around the same, but with a low of 31 degrees during the night. The sun is expected to come out, and it's supposed to be in the mid-50s for the rest of the week. So make sure you go out and enjoy the fall weather we're expected to have. Back to you, Ashley.
Thanks, Claire. And now, going outside of Iowa, state elections are making national impacts. DITV's AJ Reeser is also live here in the newsroom with more.
Thanks, Ashley. That's right. Elections were held across the country, some having a big impact, especially with the national election year upon us. Ohio approved 2 ballot measures, both of which are important for Democrats in the majority Republican state. The first measure adds abortion rights to Ohio's state constitution. The other legalizes recreational marijuana use in the state. Kentucky, Mississippi, and Virginia also had elections, which flipped their state's majority party. Races like these are important because they give perspective to issues that are on the country's mind ahead of 2024. Back to you, Ashley.
Thanks, AJ. And on Monday, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds endorsed Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for president. This comes after months of speculation as to who Reynolds would throw her support behind. In her speech endorsing DeSantis, Reynolds called for a strong candidate who would not cave under pressure.
We need a president who has the skill and the resolve to reverse the madness that we see every single day. Ron DeSantis is the person that we need leading this country.
The Iowa caucus in January will be a key factor in determining the Republican candidate for president. And although this presidential election is still a year away, we're seeing a lot of anticipation for the 3rd Republican presidential debate, which happens tonight. There will be 5 candidates in this debate: Chris Christie, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Tim Scott. To qualify for the debate, candidates had to reach 4% in multiple polls and have 70,000 unique donors. The debate will air at 7 o'clock on NBC News and Peacock. And back here in Iowa City, the Iowa City City Council had a vote to remove Eric Harris as an as-needed Truth and Reconciliation Commissioner. This followed his recent absences from meetings. The TRC is an advisory board created by Harris in 2020 that aims to stop systemic racism. The council voted to recommend his removal on October 25th. Harris has not attended a meeting since March of 2023. He was charged with possession of a controlled substance and a domestic abuse assault that placed him under house arrest. He then gained additional charges for removing his ankle bracelet and attempting to flee Iowa City. Harris is currently in the Johnson County Jail. And the University of Iowa is set to acquire Mercy Iowa City after the bankruptcy court approved the hospital sale on Monday. The UI will retain all current Mercy employees in good standing. The hospital was originally sold to Texas-based Preston Hollow Community Capital with a $29 million bid. Mercy reversed their decision and selected the university's $28 million bid when disagreements arose when Preston Hollow was unwilling to pay off the hospital's debts. The UI has committed to improve various hospital facilities and cover Mercy employees' salaries and benefits. The UI also agreed to pay off those Mercy debts. And the University of Iowa Hospital and Clinics also just named Bradley Hawes as the new CEO and Associate Vice President of UI Healthcare. Hawes will succeed the previous interim here, CEO Kim Hunter, who has served as CEO since 2022. Hunter plans on continuing serving as Chief Nurse Executive, a role she has had since 2021. Hawes plans to apply his track record of over 30-plus years of leadership experience in healthcare to the position. He says he specializes in management and brings a big passion for serving the mission in Iowa healthcare. Now, lots of new people entering new roles, both in election and here at the University of Iowa hospitals. It also seems like it's a new season for sports right now.
Yeah, with the changing seasons means that it's new sports, and it's finally that time of year, Ashley. And no, I'm not talking about blasting Mariah Carey just yet. I'm talking about basketball season. The women's team welcomed in Fairleigh Dickinson Monday night in Carver, and before the game, last year's team was recognized for their championship run. But let's get into the game. We go. Here comes the court. Like I just mentioned, they were going to highlight the last year's season as they made a Final Four and championship run. There's the banner, there's the team, all the same familiar faces, but into the game we go. Caitlin Clark gets down in the lane with a beautiful jumper. She would go off on this one. She had a double-double. She went into the lane with a left-handed layup. That one's good. The Hawkeyes were rolling until Abigail Babor for Fairleigh Dickinson knocked down a three. She tried keeping it close, but the Knights just could not, as Iowa and the Lady Hawks would take this one in Carver Hawkeye Arena, winning this one 102-46. Let's hear what head coach Lisa Bluter had to say after the game.
You know, and you know, you come in a game like this and you have a lead, to still be able to play that hard and have fun. It's, you know, that's what you work hard for.
Yeah, I think that's what's so exciting for us is, like Coach Bluter said, is we're kind of tired of going to practice every single day and just playing our gray squad. As we get to go out here and compete against really great teams, we're going to see where we are with Virginia Tech.
And sticking on their hardwood, the men's team also opened their season Carver Hawkeye last night, welcoming in the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. Let's get into the action from last night. Herky the Hawk showing the crowd some love. The Hawkeyes back in Carver Hawkeye Arena. Patrick McCaffrey introducing himself. And let's get into it. Peyton Sanford, P. Money getting the shot to go. The Hawkeyes were rolling early in this one as P. Money decided to take a step back from beyond the arc. That one's good. Swish, splash. That one goes down the rim. The Hawkeyes were no question for North Dakota as the Moline boys, Brock Harding to Owen Freeman. He slams that one home. The Hawkeyes, again, roll in this one. North Dakota was no shot, no chance for the Hawkeyes as they win this one 110-68 going away. Now let's hear what head coach Fran McCaffrey had to say about the season opener.
You know, it's kind of how we put this team together. We got a lot of weapons, a lot of different guys that can make plays, as you pointed out, whether it be right off the rebound or out of our motion game. We can move guys around in our sets and create shot opportunities.
Getting those defensive rebounds led to a lot of transition points, and we got so many guys that can make plays, and I think you're going to see that throughout the rest of the season.
And after coming off their walk-off win in Wrigley Field on Saturday, the Hawkeye football team must shift their focus to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, who visit Kinnick Stadium this Saturday. The Scarlet Knights are 6-3 on the season and are coming off of a 35-16 loss to Ohio State over the weekend. And although Rutgers is coming off that loss to OSU, the Scarlet Knights and head coach Greg Schiano are ranked 11th in the country in total defense going into Saturday's matchup in Iowa City. And with Iowa City offense ranking 133rd in the whole country in total defense, the Iowa defense knows that it's no time to point fingers and make excuses, but get stops and play fundamental defense. Kickoff is set for 2:30 p.m. and you can catch all the action on Fox Sports, Ashley.
Great, and thank you for tuning in to this election special episode of DITV News and listening to KRUI 89.7 FM.
For more, be sure to stay updated on DailyIowan.com for all the latest news throughout the week.
For DITV News, I'm Ashley Wheel.
And I'm Max Von Gries. We'll be back on Friday.
Have a great day.